Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudhirayet. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhakti naishtaki krishnaya vasudevaya devaki nandanaya cha nandagopa kumaraya govindaya namo namaha. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 8th chapter, and 33rd and 34th verse. First canto, 8th chapter, 33rd and 34th verse. Apare vasudevasya devakyam yachito abhyagat devakyam yachito abhyagat ajastvam asya shemaya vadhaya cha suradvishpa vadhaya cha suradvisham apare vasudevasya devakyam yachito abhyagat ajastvam asya shemaya vadhaya cha suradvisham. 34th वर्स भी हम साथ में रिसाइट कर लेते हैं. भारावतारनान्ये भुवो नाम इवो दधो सिद्धांत्या भूरि भारेण जातो हि आत्मा भुवार्थिता. So translation for 33rd, actually एक सीरीज है ये वर्सेस की, 32, 33 और 34 जो है, इसमें कुंती महारानी भगवान के अलग अलग रीजंस ऑफ इनकारनेशंस डिस्कस करती हैं. So 32 में कुंती महारानी कहती है, some say that the unborn, I'm starting from 32, 33, 34, ये तीनों सीरीज हैं, and 35 is also there in this series. And 36th. We'll cover 32 to 36 series. Okay. So 32 says, Kunti Maharani is praying to Lord Krishna. And why Kunti Maharani is praying to Lord Krishna is because Krishna, in this particular context, Krishna has saved Uttara Devi, the womb of Uttara Devi. So Kunti Maharani started her prayers to Krishna, where in previous verses we have seen that Kunti Maharani also specifies that let the problems that were there, let them continue. Let the problems not stop. Because when the problems were there, we could see you continuously. But now, since these problems are over, and you are and Yudhishthir is the king now, the problems are since over. Now you are going back to Dwarka. So it is better that these problems would have continued so that we could have your personal association continuously. This is how Kunti Maharani prays in the previous verses. And in this 32nd verse, Kunti Maharani says, some say that the unborn, Ajaha, Krishna's one of the name is Ajaha. He's unborn. Some say that unborn is born for the glorification of pious kings. And others say that he is born to please King Yadu, one of your dearest devotees. You appear in this family as sandalwood appears in the Malaya hills. So Kunti Maharani is telling different reasons for advent of Lord Krishna. So she's saying that some in 32nd verse, Kunti Maharani is saying, we'll go through the translations of all these verses, then I'll come to the discussion. So Kunti Maharani says that you appear for the glorification of the pious kings and to please the king of Yadu dynasty you have appeared. This is the first. And 33rd, Kunti Maharani says, others say, that some other people say, that since Vasudeva and Devaki prayed for you, you have taken your birth as their son. Undoubtedly, you are unborn, yet you take birth for their welfare and to kill those who are envious of the demigods. So, in previous lives, this Vasudeva and Devaki were, what were their names? Sutapa and Prishni. So, Sutapa and Prishni, they had done severe austerities, tapasya, to beget Krishna as their child. So, in that sense, Kunti Maharani is saying that to please them, to please Sutapa and Prishni, who are currently Vasudeva and Devaki, you have appeared. In 32, Krishna, Kunti Maharani says that Krishna appeared to please the pious kings. In 33, Kunti Maharani says that some other people say that you appeared to please Devaki and Vasudeva. In 34th verse, Kunti Maharani will be saying that while others say that you appeared on the prayers of Brahma. Appeared on the prayers of Brahma. I'll go to the translation, then I'll get back on this. Others say that the world being overburdened like a boat at the sea, this world is overburdened like a boat at the sea, is much aggrieved, and that Brahma, who is your son, prayed for you, and so you have appeared to diminish the trouble. Why did Brahma appear? Why did Brahma prayed to Krishna? Because demigods had approached him. Or where did they approach? Can someone tell me? Shirodak Sagar. So there is Garbhodak Sagar and there is Shirodak Sagar. So in Shirodak Sagar, who is residing is Shirodakshai Vishnu. Shirodakshai Vishnu is basically the Paramatma feature who enters in all of us. Yeah. So on the verge of Shirodak Sagar, they had prayed and they were given assurance by Shirodakshai Vishnu, the Paramatma feature, that I will appear to fulfill your prayers. Then in 35th verse, and yet others say, Kunti Maharani is saying, and yet others say, you appear to rejuvenate the devotional service of hearing. You appear to rejuvenate the devotional service of hearing, remembering, worshipping. And so in order and so on in order that the conditioned soul suffering from the material pangs might take advantage and gain liberation. So some others say that you have come to establish the Navada Bhakti. This is what hearing, remembering, worshipping, this is all parts of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. These are all parts. So some say that you have come to please the pious king. Some say that you have come to please Devaki and Vasudev. Some say that you have come on the prayers of Brahma. Some say that you have come to establish what? The process of Shravanam and Smaranam, remembering, and worshipping, Archanam. Some say that you have come to establish these three things. And 36th verse, it says, O Krishna, those who continuously hear, chant, and repeat your transcendental activities. Hear, chant, and repeat. It is not just hear and chant. What is it saying? Hear, chant, and repeat. Means what you have heard, you should tell others also. So, O Krishna, those who continuously hear, chant, and repeat your transcendental activities or take pleasure in others doing so, certainly see your lotus feet, which alone can stop the repetition of birth and death. So who sees the lotus feet of the Lord is someone who is three things. What are the three things? Hearing, chanting, and repeating. Yeah. So repeating to others. Such a person will definitely see the lotus feet of Krishna some or the other day. So these points we will be covering. We have some 20 minutes now. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvritam Tam Sajivam Sa Advaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnupadaya, Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta, Swami Niti Namine, Namaste Saraswate Deve, Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi, Paschatya Deshatarine. Hare Krishna. So Kunti Maharani is giving the different reasons of the advent of the Lord. So he's unborn, he's Ajaha, unborn, like sun rises at the eastern horizon and then sets in the evening. Yes. Similarly, it does not mean, as Prabhupada says in the purports to these verses, if the sun is rising and sun is setting back, that does not mean that sun has vanished. It will rise again. So that the same concept, Prabhupada says, is for Krishna. So he manifests, he presents himself for some time to us in the material world, and then he goes back to his abode. But that does not mean that he is dying like an ordinary human being, as some nonsense people say, that Krishna died and the heart of Krishna was still alive, and Krishna was, his heart was placed in Jagannath Puri, in Jagannath Ji. This is all nonsense. He does not die. He goes back to his abode. It's like rising and setting sun, and it will rise back. That is the situation. So this is very important to understand. So how does, this is again a very important concept to understand, that people say that Krishna coming from Vishnu. Like there is a complete explanation in the 3rd chapter of, I suppose 3rd chapter only. Purusharavatar is in 3rd chapter, right? The incarnations. 3rd chapter, yeah. Krishna is the source of all incarnations. Like the 3rd chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam says, it talks about initially Krishna. Then from Krishna, the Purushavatars. The first one is Mahavishnu. From Mahavishnu, Ananta Brahmand. In each Brahmand, Garbhodak Sagar. And Garbhodak Sagar, who resides? Garbhodakshai Vishnu. From the navel of Garbhodakshai Vishnu, who appears? Brahma. The creation is done. Then there is Shirodak Sagar, where who resides? Shirodakshai Vishnu. And from Shirodakshai Vishnu, many Paramatma form enters into our heart. Like that. So now, people say, yes, it is true that Srimad Bhagavatam also explains that to Devaki and Vasudev, Krishna first gave darshan in which form? Four-handed form. Four-handed form. And then, when on the prayers of Devaki, Devaki said, I don't want to see you in this form. I want to see your normal form like a child. So then Krishna showed the two-handed form. Yes. So some people interpret it like it's Vishnu, it's Krishna coming from Vishnu. But there is a process whenever incarnations take place. That is described in Srimad Bhagavatam. The process is, it's like if on the road some street light is not working and Prime Minister wants to get it corrected. What will Prime Minister do? He has some protocols to follow. It's not that Prime Minister will directly instruct some contractor, okay, go and correct those lights. What will the Prime Minister do? The Prime Minister will pass the orders. He will give the orders to the local state government. The state government will also not do directly. The state government will pass the orders to the municipal corporation, the electricity board, and the electricity board will get it done. Yes. So it's not that directly Prime Minister will come and get it done. Similarly, there is a process. Whenever some incarnations appear, or Krishna himself appears, it doesn't break the rule. Incarnations all appear through Shirodakshai Vishnu, who is residing in the heart of the person who is considered the parents of the incarnation. You understand? So Krishna also does not break the chain. When he personally comes, he follows the law. The law is the incarnation should come through Shirodakshai Vishnu. So that is in fact humility of Krishna, that he is not breaking the chain. It's not that he is coming directly as a person. Yeah. So in that sense, people start thinking that Krishna has come from Vishnu. But actually, he is not breaking the chain. Yes. So if Krishna coming from Vishnu, then all the concept of all the Vishnus and everything that is explained in Puranas, they all go redundant. It's absolutely redundant. And Srimad Bhagavatam starts with this, Om Namo Bhagavate Vishnu Devaya. No. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So Vasudev's son is the supreme. This is what Srimad Bhagavatam explains in the first canto. So in the 32nd verse, this explanation is given that sun rises, as the sun rises and sun sets. So similarly, Krishna rises and Krishna goes back to his abode. So Janma Karma Chame Divyam. Evam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma sa eti mameti sa Arjuna. So what does this say? That someone who understands the pastimes of Krishna as transcendental. It's divyam. Such a person attains him. And in 33rd verse, it's saying that you have come to please the Vasudeva and Devaki. And in 34th verse, it says, Krishna Kunti Devi says that others also say that you have come on the prayers of Brahma. Brahma, who is your son? Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavi. You gave all the knowledge in the heart of Brahma. You gave all the knowledge in the heart of Brahma. So, on the prayers of Brahma, you have come to diminish the trouble. But as Bhagavad Gita says in the sequences, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrita dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge. Paritranaya sadhunam. The first thing is to give pleasure to the sadhus. That is why Krishna appears. This is the primary reason. Paritranaya sadhu, to protect the sadhus. And the secondary reason is vinashaya cha dushkrita. Vinashaya cha dushkrita. He appears. The secondary reason is to kill the asuras. So, this is important understanding. There is a negative understanding, there is a positive understanding of the appearance of Krishna. People generally think that he comes just to kill the envious people. No. The primary is paritranaya sadhuna, protecting and giving pleasure to the sadhus. He comes for his devotees. So that is the primary reason. Vinashaya cha duskritam, in the process, he kills. So that is the reason on the prayers of Brahma, who comes? Krishna, paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam. And in this purport to 34th verse, Prabhupada explains that even what to talk of Krishna, someone may say that Krishna appeared because of contact of Vasudeva and Devaki, because of physical relation between Vasudeva and Devaki. Someone may say like that. But what to talk of Krishna? Even Brahma, Prabhupada tells in this purport, even Brahma, when he appeared from the navel of Vishnu, Vishnu did not have to have contact of Lakshmi ji for that. Lakshmi ji was simply serving the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, and from the navel Brahma appeared. What to talk of Krishna? Someone may say, as an ordinary birth. Krishna, for incarnation of Brahma, Krishna doesn't need the contact of a lady. Right? So for his own incarnation, why sexual intercourse will be required? This is what Prabhupada explains in this purport, that he is not ordinary. He is divya. Janma karma chame divyam. So this is a very important line in this purport. One who foolishly considers Narayan like any other living beings should take a lesson from this. Narayan is not an ordinary living being. He is the personality of Godhead, and he has all the potencies of all the senses in all parts of his transcendental body. Any part of his body can perform the function of any other part. He can eat through hands. He can see through mouth. He can eat through eyes. Yes. Someone may say, I offer bhog. Krishna, pata nahi khaya, nahi khaya. So, it's not that Krishna eats only by his mouth. Krishna, just by giving a glance, he can create the complete creation. So, by a glance, can't he eat? So, this is important. It all depends on how much faith we are offering to him. Okay. And in 35th and 36th verse, Although you can cover 35th and 36th verse properly in upcoming classes. I have explained up to 34th properly, but still 35th and 36th are also significant. Especially 36th, where Kunti Maharani says that those who continuously hear, chant and repeat. Some people say just sit and do your reading, hearing, chanting. And don't repeat to anyone. All nonsense concepts, so I heard someone saying, this is very funny, that you want to preach to someone, you are not eligible for preaching. What you should do? Whatever building you want to preach to, you should go and circumambulate the building and chant a few rounds while praying for the residents in that building that they may become devotees. What a nonsense understanding of the philosophy. What a nonsense. Means don't work hard. Because when you go to meet people, you talk to them, you have to spend time. Okay, just let me go. What is my way of preaching? Let me go. Let me circumambulate the building. Let me chant 2 rounds. In 15 minutes, entire building will become devotee. This is nonsense understanding. You will hear this understanding from few people. Yeah. This deviated philosophy. You have to work hard for Krishna. That is the correct philosophy. Preaching does not only mean giving classes. Preaching means connecting everyone to Prabhupada. You yourself are connected to Prabhupada. Why can't you connect others? Where is the problem? You understand? Okay, speak as much as you follow. At least that much can be done. You are truthful. You are chanting, you can ask someone to chant. You are following the 4 regulative principles, you can ask someone to do that. Don't speak beyond what you are not following. Just speak whatever you are following. People will be convinced. At least they are suffering in the material pangs, they will come out. Yeah. At least that much you can say. And if you have to say higher principles, then you can add on one thing, that okay, I'm telling this higher principles, but as of now, I also don't follow this. I'm trying to follow this. Be truthful. Preaching will happen. And be convinced on the philosophy. How this conviction will come? With sadhana. If you are convinced, people will be convinced on hearing you. If you are not convinced, people will never be convinced. Yes. So, as says, someone, because why? What is the purpose? Why you have to tell people? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 18th chapter, someone who tells my glories to others, he is the most pleasing personality to me. Prabhupada always said, never say that I want to see God, I want to see God, I want to see God. Act in a way that God comes to see you. Yes. Act in a way that God comes to see you. Yes, there will be definitely, this is my yesterday's understanding. I try to write whatever I understand in 2-3 lines generally. So my yesterday's complete reading, hearing, understanding was just very simple. It was, definitely the attractions of this world attract you. But what is your job? The attractions of the world will attract you. Material attractions will attract you. What is your job? Your job is to attract the all-attractive. That is Krishna. And then your life is successful. Okay, from one side, the material world is attracting you. The attractions of the material world will attract you. But you attract what? You don't respond to this. You attract what? The all-attractive. Krishna. By serving. Try very hard to attract the all-attractive. And definitely Krishna will come to see you and your life will be successful. That's what this word says. That, so, O Krishna, those who continuously hear, chant and repeat your transcendental activities or take pleasure in doing so, certainly see your lotus feet. They will see your lotus feet. Certainly. अच्छा ऐसे भी तो बोल सकते थे ऐसे भी एव means certainly. ऐसे भी तो बोल सकते, ए वो वर्ड हटा देते. O Krishna, those who continuously hear, chant and repeat your transcendental activities or take pleasure in doing so, see your lotus feet. But Kunti Devi is adding one thing. Certainly, guarantee is there. Guarantee. Kaunteya pratijanati name bhaktya pranishti. You announce that my devotee will never perish. What is Krishna is getting it announced through Arjun. Krishna, because he says, I may back off from my words, but I will never back off from the words of my devotees. And here Kunti Devi is giving a word, and Krishna will never back off from this. Someone who, come on, memorize this. Someone who hears, chant, and repeat. These three things. Someone who does. Kunti Devi is promising. He will certainly see the lotus feet of Krishna some or the other day. Make your life successful now. Don't waste it further. If you are not good at speaking, if you are not good at convincing people, you can arrange for programs. You can talk to people. You can arrange where you can take some senior or some equal to give the classes. So there are n number of ways in which you can serve. Don't just be bothered about my office, my work life. I mean, yes, you have to worry for that. You have to work for that, definitely. But that's not the only thing in life. That's a byproduct. Generally, people worry only about my office, my earnings, my reading, hearing, chanting. No. Yes, you have to worry for your work, your occupational. Yes, you have to worry for your sadhana. At the same time, you have to take out time to tell everyone about Srila Prabhupada. Then the life is successful. This is my personal experience. I'm so convinced about this fact. You try to serve Krishna, never ever there will be any harm in your life. Never ever. You will see a progress, even the material progress, you will see to an extent that you would have never thought of. If you try to serve sincerely, the material progress will be also 10x, 100x. Engage your mind in making plans for Krishna. And Krishna will make a complete plan of your life and take you back to Godhead. So the material attractions attract you? Yes. What is your job? To get attracted? No. Your job is to, material attractions are attracting you very strongly. Your job is to attract Krishna very strongly. Yes? Hare Krishna. Any questions? We'll close. सब समझ आ गया? हरे कृष्णा. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की.